Hello and welcome, dear students. Today we are going to cover the sermon at Banaras. The sermon is actually a lecture which is religious in nature. So it's a religious lecture at Banaras. Who conducted this lecture? What was this lecture all about? Let us find out. It is with reference to the textbook, literature textbook of grade 10. First of all, let us see what is a sermon. The Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Banaras, most holy of the dipping places on the river Ganges. That sermon has been preserved and is given here. It reflects the Buddha's wisdom about one insurrectable kind of suffering, that means a suffering that cannot be rectified, that cannot be overcome. What is the moral of the story or the sermon or this selection, which was the sermon at Banaras? Let us find out. Buddha gave his sermon or delivered his sermon at Banaras. It is the holiest of places on the bank of the Ganges. His first sermon reflects his wisdom. Make a note of it, please. His wisdom about one of the insurrectable kind of sufferings, that is death. Here the Buddha tells about the universality of death, which is inevitable, that means cannot be avoided and cannot be escaped. That is the total idea or the central idea of the entire selection. Let us see the introduction. The sermon at Banaras throws light or laments or tells us about the early life of Lord Buddha, who was originally born as a prince in the royal family. On being exposed to the sufferings of the world, which he was earlier shielded from, he left his princehood and went in search of salvation, that means in search of God or in search of the purpose of life, thus leaving all his worldly pleasures behind. Upon attaining spiritual awakening, he delivered his first sermon in the city of Banaras, hereby making the lady named Kissa Gautami realize that men are mortal and a wise person should not grieve at what is bound to happen, for it only enhances pain and suffering. Now over here we have a reference of a lady whose son died and she went from house to house looking for a magical potion or medicine which could awaken the son from death. She was declared to be mad or no senses. When she reached Buddha, Buddha advised her to get the mustard seeds from a house that will help in awakening her son, and he had placed a condition that she should get the seeds from a house who has never, the family or the household has never seen death. So here there is an underlying lesson for this lady Kissa, and she learns this lesson through her experience. Let us proceed further. Let us look at the summary first, so that we have a central idea, we have a complete idea of what is the story all about. So when we are reading line by line, we will have a better understanding. Gautama Buddha was born in the North Indian royal family as a prince and was named Siddhartha Gautama. When he was 12 years old, he was sent to a faraway place to study Hindu sacred scriptures, and upon returning 4 years later, he got married to a princess. Soon they both had a son, and they continued to live the royal life for about 10 years. The royals were shielded from all the unpleasant experiences of the world until one day, on his way to hunt, the prince met a sick man, an aged man, a funeral procession, and a monk begging for alms. All these experiences acted as an eye-opener for him, and thus he left all his royalty behind to seek a higher sense of spiritual knowledge. He wanted to understand what is the purpose of knowledge or what the purpose of life. So he went in search of that. Upon attaining salvation, he began preaching. Salvation over here means his rescue to or learning that take place and lamenting from Almighty, and that is how he has learned, and he started preaching. He delivered his first sermon in the city of Banaras. There was a lady named Kissa Gautami whose son had died. Suffering with an enduring pain, she went from house to house looking for a medicine to bring her son back to life. People started thinking that the lady had lost her senses. One day she met a man who directed her towards Lord Buddha, who could possibly have a solution for her problem. Buddha asked her to look for mustard seeds, and the seeds must be procured from a house that it had seen no death. Reinstated her with hope. That means she had hope now that the son will come to life if she is able to get mustard seeds. Reinstated with hope, Kisa Gautami once again went on a search from house to house, but to her dismay, she could not find mustard seeds from a house that would fulfill Buddha's condition. Disheartened, she sat at the edge of the road, thus realizing how selfish she has been. She became conscious to the fact that men were mortal and no one could escape the cycle of life. This was exactly what Buddha wanted her to understand. According to Lord Buddha, the feelings of grief and sorrow only increases man's pain and suffering, thus deteriorating his health. Therefore, a wise person fully aware about nature's functioning must not grieve at something bound to happen, and only then he can be happy and blessed. That means one should realize that everyone is going to die, and one should be mentally prepared. And the grief that is after the death of a person, it doesn't help in any way. It only aggravates the condition, the deteriorating condition and the health. Now let us proceed and look at the selection that is in our prescribed textbook. Gautama Buddha, he was born in this duration 563 BC to 483 BC. Began life as a prince named Siddhartha Gautama in northern India now Nepal. At 12 he was sent away for schooling in the Hindu sacred scriptures, and 4 years later he returned home to marry a princess. They had a son and lived for 10 years as befitted royalty. At about the age of 25, the prince, hitherto shielded from the sufferings of the world, while out hunting, chanced upon a sick man. Chance over here means came across. Then an aged man, then a funeral procession, and finally a monk. Begging for alms means begging for some donations or something that will help the person overcome his need for food and daily requirement. Sacred, embodying the law of doctrines of a religion. Scriptures are the writings of religion. Befitting means an appropriate or suitable. Chanced upon means came across. Alms means money or food or charity. Enlightenment is a state of being highly spiritual in knowledge. This is a restated version of what we have just read. It is for students to pause, read for themselves. He wandered for 7 years and finally sat down under the peepal tree. Peepal tree is banyan tree, where he vowed to stay until enlightenment came. That means he gained wisdom. After 7 years, he renamed the tree as Buddhi tree. Buddhi means the tree of wisdom, and began to teach and to share his new understandings. At that point, he became known as the Buddha, the awakened or the enlightened. That is how his name he was christened that way. The Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Banaras, most holy of the dipping places on the river Ganges. That sermon has been preserved and is given here. It reflects the Buddha's wisdom about one insurrectable kind of suffering. Wandered means moved around from place to place. Vowed means took an oath or a promise to on oneself, solemn promise to do some specified thing. Preached is to deliver or to lecture a religious address, and sermon is a talk on religious or moral subject. Holy is sacred. Dipping places is bathing. It is a religious ritual. Insurrectable means something that cannot be understood. So over here we have understood that he wandered, and then he lamented, he got knowledge, and then he started preaching, and he sat under a tree, a peepal tree. Later on the tree was renamed as Buddhi, and he got the title Buddha, and he delivered his first sermon and at Banaras, which is on the banks of river Ganges. Kisa Gautami had an only son and he died. In her grief, she carried the dead child to all her neighbors asking them for medicine, and the people said she has lost her senses. The boy is dead. At length, Kisa Gautami met a man who replied to her request, I cannot give the medicine for thy child, but I know a physician who can. And the girl said, Pray tell me, sir, who is it? And the man replied, Go to Sakya Muni and the Buddha. Kisa Gautami repaired to the Buddha and cried, Lord and Master, give me the medicine that will cure my boy. As it is evident that she took the dead child in her arms, she went from house to house looking for the magical potion. One person directed her to Buddha, and that is how she went and requested Buddha to help cure the child. She wanted a cure for death. The Buddha answered, I want a handful of mustard seed. And when the girl, in her joy, promised to procure it, the Buddha added a condition. The mustard seed must be taken from a house where no one has lost a child, a husband, a parent, or a friend. That means from a household where there was no death at all. Now, though Kisa Gautami, she was excited that now the son will come to life if she fulfills the promise, but she was unaware of the underlying condition, which was difficult, and the lesson that was entailing. Poor Kisa Gautami now went from house to house, and the people pitied her and said, Here is mustard seed, take it. But then she said, Did a son, a daughter, a father or mother die in your family? They answered her, Alas, the living are few, but the dead are many. Do not remind us of our deepest grief. And there was no house, but some beloved one had died in it. That means now she came to know that in every family, in every house, in every household, there was someone who died, and there was no such house where no one had lived forever. So now there was a moment of realization to her, and then Kisa Gautami became weary and hopeless. That means now she was sure that she's not going to get mustard seeds from a household where there was no death. And she sat down at the wayside watching the lights of the city as they flickered up and were extinguished again. At last the darkness of the night reigned everywhere, and she considered the fate of men, that their lives flicker up and are extinguished again. So over here, this extinguishing of light or the flames going off is symbolic of the man or human being's life going off and meeting death. And she thought to herself, how selfish am I in my grief? Death is common to all, yet in this valley of desolation, there is a path that leads him to immortality who has surrendered all selflessness. Then she has realized that she was quite selfish, that she could not accept the lesson that men are mortal and all ones are immortal, and those who are immortal have coveted the path free from all worldly pleasures. That means people, when they give up all these worldly pleasures, only then they seek that they have overcome all the grief. The Buddha said the life of mortals in this world is troubled and brief and combined with pain, for there is not any means by which those that have been born can avoid dying. That means he said that there is no such person on earth who was born in this world may avoid his death. After reaching old age, there is death of such a nature are living. That means after reaching old age, one person has to reach his death, and that is awaiting every person. As ripe fruits are early in the danger of falling, that means the ripened fruits fall off from the tree. In the same manner, the people whose age has ripened, that means they've reached old age, they fall off. That means they go away, or they go into the pangs of death. So mortals were born are always in danger of death. That means people who are born in this world, who have life, they are called mortals. They are always in danger of death. That means the death will definitely meet them. As all earthen vessels made by the potter end in being broken, he has given one example over here. That means the earthen pots or pitcher pots, which is made with the clay, if it falls down, it is broken. So it is the life of mortals, and that is the life of mortals. That is example of the mortals or the living beings. Both young and adult, both those who are fools and those who are wise, all fall into the power of death. All are subject to death. That means that it is not the knowledge or foolishness that prevents anyone from falling to death. It is that natural that anyone who is born into this world will definitely meet his death. Of those who overcame by death depart from life, a father cannot save his son, nor kinsmen their relations. That means no father can save his son, no king or kinsman can save their relations. No matter how wealthy, how noble, no one can save their loved ones from the pangs of death. Mark, while relatives are looking on the lamenting deeply, one by one mortals are carried off, like an ox that is led to the slaughter. Though this example is given that the people who die, their dead ones are carried off either for burial or cremation or for the meeting the last rituals, and relatives, they just wait to just see how. Another example is given, an ox is taken for slaughter. That's a very painful example that is given over here. So the world is afflicted with death. That means afflicted over here, the word is used as if it's a disease. Life is a disease and it has to meet death. And decay, therefore the wise do not grieve. That means those who are wise people, full of wisdom, they do not grieve death. They know that it is inevitable and it will definitely come for everyone sooner or later. Knowing the terms of the world. Kinsman, a person who is one of one's blood relationship. We use an example, next to kith and kin. Next to kith and kin means your immediate relative. Example over here, that word is used as kinsman. Lamenting means express regret or disappointment about something. Lamenting comes to a person, regret comes to a person when there's a moment of realization. Slaughter, killing of animals for food, afflicted over here, affect adversely. The only way death works is by withdrawing a person from the living world. That is, the person ceases to exist. No one can control death. And the example of the ox is given, that when one's dead body is taken away for cremation or burial. That is the example that was quoted by. And anyone who is wise will never feel sad about death. Not for weeping, not for grieving will anyone obtain peace of mind. On the contrary, the pain will be the greater and his body will suffer. That means if someone were to cry over the death of someone, the tears or the crying will only pain the body and the soul of the dead. He will make himself sick and pale. The person who's crying will make himself sick and pale. Yet the dead are not saved by the lamentation. That means the dead are not saved by this disappointment. He who seeks peace should draw out the arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. He who has drawn out the arrow and has become composed will obtain peace of mind. Anyone who has realized it will have the peace of mind. He who has overcome all sorrow will become free from sorrow and be blessed. That means anyone who has realized it, he will come out of the pain of sorrowness and the death of a near or dear one. According to Lord Buddha, what he has explained over here, that one should not grieve, weep or be miserable at the death of someone, and keep away from the sorrows. It will only multiply the pain if you grieve and sufferings. Thus the physical weakness, it will result into physical weakness. One would become pale and sickly, and it will not help the dead at all. It is very important to understand that one must prove past feelings like sorrow and grief, and one should overcome that, and that in order to understand the meaning of life. Now the question answers over here. When her son dies, Kisa Gautami goes from house to house. When her son dies, Kisa Gautami goes from house to house. What does she ask for? Does she get it? Why not? When her son dies, Kisa Gautami goes from house to house, requesting for a wonder drug that or magical potion that could bring her son back to life. No, she could not get it because there is no such medicine that can bring a dead man back to life. Kisa Gautami again goes from house to house after she speaks with the Buddha. And what does she ask for the second time around? Does she get it? Why not? Upon seeing Buddha, Kisa Gautami is refilled with hope, and thus she goes again from house to house looking for mustard seeds just as Lord Buddha had asked her. But many had mustard seeds to offer, but none of them could fulfill Lord Buddha's condition of having seen no deaths in the family. Therefore, she couldn't find seeds for her son. What does Kisa Gautami understand the second time that she failed to understand the first time? Was this what the Buddha wanted her to understand? When Kisa Gautami failed to find mustard seeds that could fulfill Buddha's condition of having seen no deaths in the family, she became disheartened. After deep reflection, she realized that the man's fate was just like the city lights that flickered and extinguished repeatedly. So the cycle of birth and death was the nature's way of working. Suddenly she became conscious of how selfish she had been in her sorrow, and that one who was born must rest eternally. That means one has to die. Men are mortal. Yes, this is exactly what Lord Buddha wanted her to understand, and she did understand later. Why do you think Kisa Gautami understood this only the second time? In what way did Buddha change her understanding? Kisa Gautami was too overwhelmed with sorrow and pain that her ability to think clearly got clouded. She couldn't realize that no one could escape the cycle of death. When Kisa Gautami failed to find mustard seeds that could fulfill Lord Buddha's condition of having seen no deaths in the family, she became disheartened. After deep reflection, she made peace with the terms of the world. Lord Buddha played a major role in facilitating the shift in her understanding by teaching her a lesson that one must not grieve for what is bound to happen, for it will only deepen the pain and suffering. What impression do you form of Lord Buddha after reading the sermon at Banaras? What kind of suffering is reflected in this sermon? First of all, grief over death of loved one is the main suffering reflected in the sermon. People fail to understand that death is common to all mortals have to die one day. And the impression that we get of Lord Buddha after this, that he was full of wisdom and he knew the purpose. He had realized and understood the purpose of life in this world. What is the meaning of sermon? Grammatically, the word sermon is a noun. It means a discourse or a lecture for the purpose of religious instruction, and especially one based on the text of scripture delivered by a family or a clergyman as a part of religious service or a speech, or it is meant for a religious teaching or realization. What lesson did Kisa Gautami learn from Buddha? Buddha wanted Kisa Gautami to understand that death is common to all and no one could avoid dying. No one can save their relatives, so wise do not grieve after accepting this truth of death. Can grieving and lamentation avoid death and decay in the world? What did Buddha say in this regard? The Gautama Buddha, he wanted us to understand in this world is full of suffering, death and decay, and death is the ultimate truth of life. Everything that is born today will die sooner or later, so no lamentation or disappointment or grieving will help or bring dead to life again. What is sermon? How is it different from a lecture? A sermon may be defined as a discourse or a purpose of a religious instruction, while lecture is a discourse for the purpose of instruction on any general topic, and talk can be formal as well as informal. So the lecture can be formal and informal. It can be a school regarding academic or school teachings, whereas a sermon is only a religious teaching. What does the Buddha say about his life of mortals? Buddha said that death is common to all. Life of mortal in this world is troubled and grief is combined with pain. He further taught that if humans have to overcome death, it is possible by drawing out the arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. Man must overcome sorrow at the hands of peace. Where did he vow to stay until the enlightenment came? He wandered for 7 years and finally sat down under a peepal tree, where he vowed to stay until enlightenment came. Enlightened after 7 days, he renamed the tree as Buddhi tree and began to teach and to share his new understandings. At that point, he became known as Buddha. What do you know about the early life of Buddha? We know that he was born in the 6th century BC or possibly early 624 BC. There is no specific writing which confirms it. According to some scholars, but virtually all scholars believe Siddhartha Gautama was born in Lumbini in the present day of Nepal. He belonged to a large clan called the Shakyas. What did Kisa Gautami do in her hour of grief? Kisa Gautami was sad because her son had died. In her hour of grief, she carried her dead child to all neighbors and asked them for medicine. The people said she was mad because the child was already dead. What did the Buddha say to Kisa Gautami? He gave her his first sermon at Banaras. To Kisa Gautami, the Buddha wanted to tell the world that death is the ultimate truth. All mortals are destined to die sooner or later. This is no family in the world where no one has lost a child, husband, parent, or friend. Now let us read this, and there are certain questions which have featured in the CBSE question papers. Let us just go through these questions as comprehensions. Who was Gautama Buddha? We can make out from the text. His name is given. He was a prince. And what did Gautama Buddha study? Scriptures. And find the exact word from the text. What does it mean to be a royal family? That means the royal family is the royalty. And then find the exact word for which means people of royal family. It is royalty. That is given over here. The answers are also listed for us. What did Gautama Buddha? When did Gautama Buddha marry? He married at the age of 16. Let us proceed to the second question. At about the age of 25 is given as the comprehension. Now let us see the comprehension check. What can we read and understand? Why did Gautama Buddha go out to seek enlightenment? He wanted to understand the sufferings of people. Why did he see while hunting? He saw four examples, that a sick man, aged man, a procession, and a beggar begging for alms. And then find the exact word from the exact, which means a state of high spiritual knowledge. Over here, spiritual knowledge is understanding the state of spiritual knowledge. And then describe the thoughts of Gautama Buddha while he encountered the different stages of life. He understood the different stages of life, from the sick man, from the aged man, the funeral, the monks begging for alms. From there he understood the purpose of life. Then we have a selection given to us, and the comprehension questions are given. The questions are: the people tree where he sat, it was renamed as Bodhi tree. What did Buddha do while sitting under the tree? He thought of the purpose of life, and then he promised. What did Buddha do while? Find the exact word, which means solemnly promised to do something. It means vowed. And then the final question that is over here is: after how many days Gautama Buddha got enlightenment? After 7 days. The Buddha preached the first sermon at the city of Banaras, most holy places. Now this question had appeared in 2014 in CBSE question paper. The preaching of sermon preached by Buddhas reflect, and then find the exact word from the, which means impossible to understand. And Banaras described in the lesson. Okay, Buddha preached his first sermon at Banaras. It reflected Buddha's wisdom about one inseparable kind of suffering. Inseparable from the exact means impossible to understand. Banaras is described in the lesson as the most holy of the dipping places of the river Ganges. Poor Kisa Gautami. Now what the selection that is given to us for a better understanding. Let us look at the questions. Why did Kisa Gautami travel from house to house and give before taking the mustard seeds? And dearly loved the meaning of the word. And then she asked for death of about the family member. Okay, let us see the answers. Kisa Gautami traveled from house to house to collect mustard seeds, and the mustard seeds whether the family member had ever died, and she asked about the beloved, the except was dearly loved, and the people replied Kisa Gautami that there was no house where no one had died. Next question, again the selection is given. Who said the stated lines, not from weeping nor from grieving will anyone obtain peace of mind? Of course it was Gautama Buddha who had said it. How can a person seek peace? A person can seek peace should draw out the arrow of lamentation, complaint and grief. Find the exact word from the text, which means to express sadness about something. It means weeping or grieving makes us pain greater than before. The person will lamentation Weeping or grieving makes our pain greater than before. The person will make himself sick or pale. The next set of few questions are for two marks. These are this form. These comes under optional questions for 2 marks. Why did Prince Siddhartha leave the place and become a beggar? He went actually in search of Prince Siddhartha, while hunting, saw a sick man, an aged man, a funeral, and finally a monk begging for alms. Looking at all this, left the place and became a beggar for to search for enlightenment. Over here, beggar does not mean the professional beggars. It means a person who goes in search of knowledge. What do you know about the early life of Buddha? Gautama Buddha was born in a royal family. His childhood, we know about that. At the age of 12, he was sent away for schooling for Hindu scriptures, and 4 years later, he got married to a princess. Where did Buddha preach in his first sermon? It was preached at Banaras, the city of Banaras, which is regarded as the holiest place for bathing near river Ganges. How did Kissa Gautami realize that life and death is a process? Kissa Gautami went from house to house in search of getting the magical potion, and then she was guided to bring mustard seeds, and then it should come from a family where no death has taken place, and then she lost hope. She sat down, she looked at the flickering lamps which got extinguished again, and then she realized that life is a cycle of life, birth, and then death. What was the effect of sufferings of the world on Buddha? At the age of 25, while hunting, one day Buddha saw a sick man, then a man, a funeral procession, and a monk begging for alms, and then that made him think about the purpose of life. According to Kissa Gautami, what was the greatest grief of life? According to Kissa Gautami, the greatest grief of life is death of one's loved ones and one's inability to stop from dying. Therefore, that pain was grieving and disturbing the person. Why was Kissa Gautami sad? Why did she do in her hour of grief? She was sad because she lost her son, and she went for searching for the medical or the magical potion to bring the son back to life. Why did Buddha do after he had attained enlightenment? He delivered a sermon at Banaras. And then now we have the valued questions, 8-mark questions, detailed questions. Life is full of trials and tribulations. Kissa Gautami also passes through a period of grief in her life. How does she behave in those circumstances? It's a detailed question. The values might differ from person to person. Let us see the example that we have over here. This question appeared in CBSE in 2013. After the death of Kissa Gautami's only child, she became very sad. She carried her dead child to her neighbor's house. It's a narration of what we have just understood. When she met her, she understood the purpose that no one has given her mustard seed where no family member had died. So she couldn't obtain or procure mustard seeds from a family where no person has died. She went from house to house, and later on she sat down and realized, when she saw the flickering lamp extinguishing, she realized that life has to meet, anyone who is born will definitely meet death, and it's a cycle, and that was the moment of realization for her. One should not grieve over the death of a person. Personal losses are part of a parcel of life. Instead of wailing, crying on them, we should move on in life. The message of Gautama Buddha has become more relevant in modern times. Do you agree? Why or why not? If you agree, then this answer that is given is agree. The message of Gautama Buddha has given about life. In the modern times, people have a lot to explore and move with the world at the same time. If the people don't understand the practicality of life, they will be under stress, which would in turn affect their personal and professional lives. People need to understand that everyone who is born will have to die one day. There is no one being sad or crying over the loss. People should remain calm and composed in such situations. They should face the truth and move on in life. What did Buddha say about death and suffering? After enlightenment, Buddha started to spread his teachings about life, truth, and the likes of it. He told that death and suffering are the part and parcel of life. None can avoid this truth. One has to meet one's destined end one day. Whosoever has come to the world will die one day. In the hour of grief, one must remain calm and composed so that grief doesn't overcome one. People who are wise never complain or lament over their loss. They accept the truth and be blessed with it. So the wisdom lies in the fact that people should not get distressed with pain, suffering, and death. Students who are new to my channel, kindly subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you receive the notification when I upload my next video. And my students are requested to like the video so that it gets added in their auto generated liked list, and it will help them near test and examinations. Thank you very much for your precious time.